Once told me that at Rolling Green, if you're 10 minutes early, that means you're 5 minutes late. So we're going to get going. Sorry, Dom.
They can get out early.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know that some of you are wanting to get to supper before 9 o'clock tonight, so we'll go ahead and get started. We'd like to start out with a little bit of good news. A little bit, not as much as we want to give you, but a little bit. So, Bruce?
How's everyone doing today? Great. We're going to do jumping jacks in place for about 10 minutes. All right. I actually have 3 bits of information I want to give you. And there's strategy behind what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. But we'll have some very good news, some informative news, and then some more very good news. That's the way it's going to be presented. Okay. The first, I think, very good news is with all we've been dealing with for the last few years, and we know staffing's tough and keeping focus is tough, but doing the right thing is very important. We had a DHEC health inspection in the licensed area kitchen, and a really neat thing came from it. First of all, things were going well. We could tell we were doing well because we try to do well every day. But the inspector was talking to Richie Wannick, the kitchen manager, and he said, you know, I don't give out 100% ever. He said, but today I think I'm going to have to. So that's great news. Really. Okay, so that's the first of 3. Number 2, I told you it's going to be informative, information. I still think there's good news behind it, but I know there's been the question, when can we stay open for dinner later? What I will tell you, A, we are working on it. We are trying to get people hired, but it is, I think you all know, it is definitely a staffing thing. We've got to have enough people to do it. We have people that have been tentatively hired, but A, they have to start, and the world's a little different now. They don't always start, but then they have to get through training, and we have to see the ability for them to be able to perform. So we're getting closer to that. So that's information, and I say this because I get a fair amount of conversations with folks, and Bob does too. Well, when are we going to be open later? We're working on it, so please understand we are working on it, and it's very important for me to get this to you. Okay, so that's information. The next piece is, I think, very good news. It is in regards to family and friends. We are in a position for lunch only from 11 to 2, Monday through Friday, that we will be able to allow family and friends starting May 2nd. Again, we're getting there. We're trying to get closer to that, what we consider normal, and I think that's a really good start. And I've got, for those that eat lunch a bit, we've got new faces, but we've got a lot of great people in there that are really trying hard, and it's great to see it. I'm very proud of what they're doing, what we're able to accomplish, but this is the next step, and I'm glad I could announce that today. So May 2nd, which is a Monday. Okay?
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Absolutely.
Now the rest of the meeting, right? In the last 2 weeks, we received 174 resumes. Wow. We called everyone to set up an interview. We set up 24 interviews. We had 15 people show up, and we've hired about 6.
Wow.
That gives you an idea of where we're at. But having said that, I'm guardedly optimistic. How's that for an official term? I'm guardedly optimistic that we are making some progress. And I guess I got the numbers. I'm dealing from memory, so the numbers are a little off, but it's pretty close. So we are making some progress. Obviously, we're needing folks in food and beverage, and we are working very hard at finding them. We need some people in our nursing areas, and we're working hard at finding them, in housekeeping and some of the other areas. And so please know that we're putting a full court press, and we've got some programs and some things in place. And we're seeing a little bit of loosening up in the marketplace. And it's just, can I say minuscule? But just that much, it just feels kind of good. So we're thankful for that. Let's see, go through a few things today. We'll talk a little bit more about staffing in a bit, but we'll talk about that COVID, whatever that was. We'll talk about some physical updates and a little bit more about staffing. And so it should be a relatively short meeting. I know that someone asked me to keep this meeting to go for 2 hours so you could just go right into the Monday, Thursday service, but I thought that probably isn't a good idea. Relative to COVID, obviously, if you want to wear a mask, you are welcome to. We are not requiring masks in the independent living area. However, in the licensed areas, we require masks of staff and all visitors. And again, that's more of a state and federal rule than a rule that we've made. We do have a little bit of COVID on campus. There's been an uptick in the county. We went from like 1.8 or 1.9% infection rate to 2.3 or something thereabouts. So I think that's pretty close. So there is an increase, but that's earlier last year. We were at 35%. So this is really an improvement. We're still good. We don't want to have to do any further changes, but we're continuing to monitor it just for people's protection. We do have 3 people, 3 residents on campus in the independent areas who are quarantining, and we don't know that even if they're symptomatic, but they are quarantining just for safety purposes. We are going to continue to move forward. We talked with our medical director, Dr. Terrio, regarding booster number 2 or shot number 4, and they're saying not yet. However, if you would like to have a booster shot, you can set that up with CVS right around the corner, or some of the other drugstores. And if you would feel comfortable doing that, go right ahead. And I don't know that we'll be doing a booster clinic. We have not decided, and at this point in time, we have not decided to do one, a clinic. But we will continue to monitor, and should we need to do it, we will absolutely do it. I mentioned, did I say anything about staffing? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny, I hadn't heard anything about expanding dining hours until I walked in here. I'd never heard it before, but some things that we have done that you need to be aware of, because this will affect you down the road at one point or another. In order to get the responses from staffing, we are having to have some significant staff wage increases out of budget. And it's good, but you know who pays for those wage increases?
You?
Yeah. I don't even sign the checks. So no, not me. But we know where that's coming from, and you need to just, we know, and I don't say that to make anybody nervous, but you need to understand when we make decisions like that, they are not made lightly, and they're not made just kind of willy-nilly either. There's strategy behind it. But we now offer a daily pay option for staff, and it's pretty cool. They can actually access pay every day if they want to. Not all of it, but yeah, who knew? Yeah. What it actually does, though, is it helps staff avoid taking payday loans. So it saves a lot of money that way, and it saves overdraft fees and some other things. And so far, the information that we're getting back is that staff are using it wisely. But we do have some tools to help them with that as well. We are still doing staff referral bonuses. We have sign-on bonuses. We've changed our advertising strategy. We've now got our online application going. We are continuing to adjust service hours as needed, and the biggest area that we have service hours, other than food and beverage, of course, we still have rehab that is temporarily shut down until we can get sufficient, particularly night staff, to reopen it. Having said that, we are still providing rehab services. Okay, it's just not in that end of the building. Okay, So our therapy is still here, and that's going well. Some physical updates. The apartment A through D carpeting is nearly finished. We have a couple halls that we're going to do in A and B that we'll be doing with the E building, which is scheduled to be done later this year. So that's coming. The painting and the trim and most of that stuff is done. We did do a survey of the residents with the, I thought it was interesting, my wife picked out this color. The gold or yellow or mustard or icky color, and I've heard other terms too. We did do a survey, and we can show you the survey detail, but the greater percentage of people either liked the color or they didn't mind the color, and some said, we don't care by that. They just didn't turn in the survey, so we have to assume that it's not that big of a deal to them. So at this point in time, we sent a letter, returned the results and the information to the people in those areas, and so we're not making a change in that color. And I know that was a question. And I know some are disappointed, and I do understand.
All of us have not gotten that.
It just went to the people who had that outside their doors. The gold outside their doors? Yeah, we
Already have it,
yes, already have it.
but not those of us who could possibly get that yuck color.
Yeah, you're not getting that yuck color.
Good.
There you go. So how do you feel about that, Julia? I think I already heard it. Yeah.
No, you did.
Oh.
Not the full thing.
Oh my, not the full thing. No.
Maybe you do.
Well, and the apartment E building and the remaining two hallways in, I believe, A and B, we're waiting for the carpet to be delivered, and it will be no surprise, it's a supply line issue. Have you heard that? Again, we have had a group of folks who have been painting lines not only around the speed bumps, but also the white crossing lines, and so thank you. And we've had some volunteer action that's been really, really helpful, both there and in the dining room and some other areas that we really, really appreciate. So when you see a resident helping out like that, be sure to thank them, because it really makes a difference. Really makes a difference. Staff parking. We, starting this past Monday, we made some changes in staff parking. Speaking of changes, the parking area out front, in front of this area, is now off limits to staff. And we know that events like this and other events, and even when we don't have events in here, we know that parking has been challenging out there. And so we've been watching and observing it, and we pulled the trigger on that. We knew eventually that would happen, that we would need to have staff move to the outer areas, and so we have done that. So any insight that you can provide, we sure appreciate. We won't talk with people. We don't strong arm people, but we want to save those spaces for you. Relating to parking, we are adding the designation of handicap spaces in front of the F building, in the F building parking lot. And we know that there are more people with handicap placards in that parking lot than we have handicap spaces. So we do know that. By adding 6 between there on the front side of the building and the back side of the building, it allows us to time designate the handicapped and the visitor parking spaces out in front of the commons. And can you pull up the picture for that, please? And there's about 12 or 14 spaces, and you can see that's our front entry. Yeah. And we're talking about the spaces that you can see those cars in, and then the ones that are further, there are more down to the left that aren't shown in the picture. We are going to be designating those as 4-hour parking. And so this is heads up. We can do that because we're adding and we're designating other parking spaces on campus for handicap parking. The reason we're going to 4-hour parking is that was at 7:15 this morning. We had half of our spaces filled at 7:15 when I took the picture. And that's the issue, is we have a lot of visitors. We have a lot of people who want to eat in the dining room, including our own residents. And so, because by designating more spaces, we are creating this as an open space. And frankly, when we opened up, I thought this might become an issue at some point, and it has. So we are doing this. It isn't today, but this is your heads up. Please, I don't want anybody to say, well, you didn't tell us, because it's been in a letter now, and it's in this meeting, and so on. I do want you to be aware that this is serious, because we have a lot of people who need the access from this space, and who need the handicapped spaces in front of the F building. So we're kind of getting two birds with one stone. So again, this is just your official heads up. I don't know that we've got the paint yet, but I know we've ordered signs. Now, along with this, in that parking lot that is right in front of the F building, you know what I'm talking about? We've ordered signs that says F building residents only.
Yay.
So again, those people who have caregivers who are coming in, we ask them to park further away because we want to reserve that lot in particular for the F building. They have enough challenges with parking as it is, and so again, these are some changes in parking, but and some changes in behavior, but I think it should help down the road. So, any questions so far? Good. Please.
They gonna chalk your tires like they do at Walmart?
Are we going to chalk the tires? Well, you never know. It could just be paint. I don't know. I'm teasing. I'm teasing, of course. But yeah, we'll be watching it. We'll be watching it, and we do have boots. You know what a boot is, other than the ones on your feet. And I would hate to see a resident car booted, and I'm not threatening that. Now, we have booted staff in the past, but some were, but we just want you to know that we do take this very seriously. So watch for those signs of the times, okay? And again, we want to let you know ahead of time what we're doing and why we're doing it, and how we're making accommodations for all of our residents. So. Ryan, did you have anything today? I know we talked earlier, and he said he might, but might not.
I don't think so, unless somebody has questions.
Unless you have a question about healthcare or assisted living or Evergreen Place. Thank you. Something I did want to mention is we are seeing really good resident prospect flow. As you know, we have some vacant apartments, more than we want, that are vacant. An empty bed or an empty apartment means missed mission to me. And we're here to provide a mission and service. But prospect flow for new people coming in is really very strong. They made 6 sales this week. And so I'm really proud of our marketing team. As many of you know, David, I'm blanking on his last name. You know I'm blanking. Shotland, thank you. You know how I am with names. Just ask Michael over there. But David has joined us on the sales team in the independent living area, and Danielle was in our food and beverage area, and she graduated from college with a relevant degree, and she's now working with admissions in healthcare and assisted living in Evergreen Place. So we keep our own, and we're just really proud. Both Danielle and David are doing a fantastic job, and so we're making good progress. And again, I'm cautiously optimistic about, actually I'm more than cautiously optimistic, I'm optimistic about both staffing as well as move-ins, and sun is shining, it's a good day. It's a good day. Any other questions? Please.
F building got their windows washed, but I don't think any of us or many of us have our screens back in place.
Yeah, the F building got their windows washed. Actually, we're washing all the windows. The screens aren't back in place. Part of that is because it was supposed to be raining right now, I think. That's what I heard earlier. So I don't know specifically, but those will be back on there.
When?
When? That I can't tell you. Bruce ran out of the room.
Before
So,
Easter.
yeah. Bruce or Ed? I don't see Ed here. But it should be
Soon.
soon. I'm trying not to be glib because it's just been a really long day and I'm
Yeah,
enjoying
the
this
Easter
time.
Bunny's coming too.
Easter Bunny is coming. Oh yeah, I gotta watch out for that. Yeah. Let's see, Julia.
Yeah, I have a couple of things, and Bruce sort of answered part of it. I want to address the obvious blatant discrimination in the cafeteria, in the dining hall, based on caregivers are not allowed to come in to eat. They can wipe our fannies, they can do everything for us except eat with us. That is blatant discrimination, when they have to sit outside and watch. Sometimes they don't, I mean, most of the time they probably do not want to eat with us, but they need to have that opportunity. It's discrimination if they're not allowed to come in there. And there's another case where it is not as blatant as it normally is, and it has to do with the fact that, it's sort of halfway addressed in what you were just saying. My family is not allowed to come in here, but marketing can bring anybody in here at my expense without being vetted of any way. I'm sure they have to have their temperature taken, but so what? But we don't know what they're bringing in, who's bringing in what. But I know that I cannot bring my family in here, and I know what my family has. Granted, every person is not gonna want to bring their family in here at the same time on the same meal. But we need to have that opportunity. We're paying for that. We're paying for that opportunity. Nobody's losing points but me when I bring my family in here. But I'm paying for everybody else who's brought in here. All the marketing people bring all those people in here that I'm paying for. All of us are paying for. And so I think that is discrimination against us,
Okay.
because I don't think we deserve that.
So if I can summarize, so you feel it's discriminatory that we don't allow caregivers into the dining room?
Right.
For
And I know
eating.
that's a rule because I ask about
Yeah,
it.
it is a rule. The other thing is why should marketing be allowed to bring people in?
Right.
Okay. What else?
Granted, I know what their reasoning is, and I agree with that, but why am I paying for them to bring in somebody who's not vetted, but my family is, and I can't bring my family in here?
You can bring your family in here.
Now.
Starting on May 2nd, you'll be able to
But
bring them.
that
Yes.
doesn't include Easter, does it?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. And also, and this is a personal thing, I always have extra points, and I want to give my points to a friend of mine in patio homes. I had to go through 5 people to get that done. I did finally get it done, but I had been doing that in the past. All I had to do was ask for it. Why should I have to go through 5 different people to have that done? When it's my points, y'all are not losing anything, I am.
So you were giving your points to patio home folks?
Right.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Well,
So
I mean,
that's
I
something,
had
yeah.
done it in the past couple of years, the 3-4 years I've been here.
Okay, we'll have to take a look
But
at
I
that.
just had a problem with that, and I just don't think, why should anybody else tell me what I can do with my money?
Okay. Well, please.
Can I answer
Rose.
Julia? There was a time that people in the apartments could give patio homes.
Exactly,
points.
I did it.
Because I know Richard, what was his name?
Ewanik?
Yeah, he gave me and you points, Powell, remember? And he invited us for dinner and paid for us, and we're both in the patio homes.
Oh, okay.
So it
yeah.
was done.
So the
Well,
question.
it was different the way I was giving her, which makes no sense, but I was giving her a card,
Oh,
a meal card
okay.
that
Yeah.
I paid for. Why
The,
can I not spend my money, my meals the way I want
The
to?
way it has been handled in the past that I'm aware of is that if you have someone with you, a family member or a patio home person or Santa Claus, anybody, you can buy their meal for them with your points. I'm not familiar with the transferring of points, and so that's something that we'll have to look into.
I had been doing that until we closed down.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
year,
You've been doing
every time I had a couple extra points, I gave them away. I
Yeah.
bought a ticket.
I don't,
Meal ticket.
yeah, I don't want to speak to that. I have some thoughts, but I don't want to speak to that at this point because I need to have a better understanding for some of the
But I
things.
mean,
that
y'all are
come.
not losing anything, I'm the one losing.
Like I say, I have some thoughts, but they're not fully developed yet. So I need to, okay. Yeah, there is a rule that we have not allowed caregivers. And if I could remember the reasons for that today, I would tell you. So I'm gonna have to take that under advisement. As far as bringing people under marketing, residents are paying for those meals.
Yes, exactly.
But I also would suggest that somebody paid for your meal when you moved in.
One time.
One time, yeah. Now, we do have some people that have taken advantage, and we try to control that as best we can. But there are, again, one of the ways that we provide the services is we have people who live here. And the way we have people who live here is by marketing.
But that is a discrimination against me.
It's a discrimination against you.
Yeah, well,
Um,
because I can't bring my family in,
You will be able to bring your family in
but I can't now.
If I can make one other comment. Today, we have 41 vacant apartments in the A through E buildings. Why do we have so many?
People die.
Well, people die, yes, and they go to higher levels of care. Thank you. There's another reason. For a year and a half, we could not bring anybody into this building, anybody. And so people weren't. We were marketing, but we were not being successful. We're being successful now, and you really want us to be successful with this. Because it directly affects
Sure
you.
does.
And so, when I walk down the hall and I pick up a piece of paper, I can discriminate against that piece of paper by not picking it up. So there's certain kinds of discrimination that are more important than others. And I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But I also know that in order to move in here, you were wined and dined and as well. And we know that there are a number of things, maybe not in the past year. We know that there are a number of events and things that are provided for you as well. And so I don't have an issue with that at all. We need to bring people in. And it is our mission, and it is our purpose, and it's how we have new neighbors for you.
Well, but at the same time, you don't know how many of my family knows people that they can bring in with them or attach
Right,
them to
yeah.
them.
I'm ready for another question, Jim?
I have a couple of comments.
Couple comments?
Okay. I'm very disappointed in Rolling Green for not turning out to the Easter parade. We had like 4 ladies wore hats. We had the Easter bunny. The room was empty.
Nobody showed up for the Easter parade.
And nobody showed up, and I
Except for
asked
the
them,
rabbits.
why didn't you come? I didn't even know they had it. It's called read the paper when it's delivered to you.
Read the
Okay.
paper, yeah. Read
Now
it.
a positive comment. I've been around when we've had prospects come through. And I'm glad to say when they pass Rolling Green residents in the hallway, they're always smiling.
That's true.
Don't walk around like an old grump or whatever. Smile. That people move here so they can have a good time and enjoy old age. Okay, they can stay where they live and be grumpy, but
Jim, you make a really good point. We have, yesterday I was talking to some prospects and they said, boy, this place is just so friendly. And you're right. Staff is friendly. We've got a great staff and we've got a great group of residents here. And so, yeah, that helps us all. George?
Have we had any results of the cupcake event?
Have we had any results from the cupcake event? Yes, we have. We had, if my memory is correct, which we can check that at the door, we had 232 people come through, about that.
I believe that.
And we have had 9 prospects visit with us this week. And of those 6 who signed this week, 3 of them attended the cupcake crawl. And we have more that are coming in that haven't finished their cupcakes yet. But that was probably the most successful event we've had in a long time. Great question, and I'm really, really pleased. And again, residents help with that, so thank you, thank you.
You need more help.
Yeah, we need more help.
Well, you do. It was not at all
Yeah.
nicely organized,
Yeah.
as some people might think.
It could be better next time. Yeah, we'll put that, I don't want to call that spin, but I guess it is, but
Let
yeah.
residents help with it.
I think we did this time, but we can use more. Yeah, maybe we can announce that better.
We have more.
When are they gonna get a map, not from the outside showing all the buildings, but a map of the inside? During that crawl, people didn't know where they were going, and is it that hard to make a map of the inside?
The question is, when are we going to get a map of the inside? You know, you'd think it shouldn't be that hard. You know, it's. Thank you for your reminder. It's only been 2 years. Yeah. I know that we've specifically asked several different groups that do maps to do that, and we've not seen anything. So thank you for the reminder. I know we have the one that we use on the portal, but we could do better than that. And so that.
I'd like to say something like to what Jim brought up. I think we have an abundance of riches in this place. There is so much going on that you picking and choosing, and my gosh, I was on a bus trip and I missed that, and in some respects there's too much, except of course there's not. It's just wonderful for anyone to do whatever they want to do.
Let me repeat that for our viewing audience. We have an abundance, a very rich schedule here, and folks do have to choose between events, and there are going to be conflicts of events, and unfortunately that's going to happen. But it is also.
That's a good thing.
That's really a good thing, and one of the things that we want to do is we've actually doubled the number of things that we have for people to do from before COVID, and Amy and her team are just doing a phenomenal job. I'm so proud of you guys. And I saw another hand. Yes, please.
We would like to have a chair rail going into the wellness center. You have physical therapy people going in and out, as well as water therapy. I believe at some point in time, this request went by your desk.
A chair rail for the wellness
It's a
center?
handrail.
A handrail
Not a chair rail, a handrail.
in the pool, or?
No, going into the building and out of the building.
Oh, okay.
There's a small ramp that goes up.
There's no way to hold it up.
Yeah, so
That
handrail.
request has been written up already, but I'd like to know the outcome of it.
I don't have a good answer for you. I don't have any answer, but thank you for that. We will follow up and see what we can do. I know that, yeah, I'm
Cut down on
thinking,
your insurance if there was one there from people falling.
yeah, we'll have to take a look at that and see what we can do relative to the codes. There may be some codes, I don't know, but we'll have to take a look at that. I'm writing notes.
I see,
So that's on the outside of the building coming in.
outside of the building.
Okay.
Very small ramp that goes up and down.
Yeah, there is
There is.
there's a little ramp there, yeah. Okay. We'll have to take a look at that. I don't know if there's a code issue there because of people coming from the sides or what, I don't know. But we'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, okay, good. Other questions, comments? Well, based on the questions today, I've had at least one answer. Yeah. But, you know, that's the purpose of this is not to not answer things, but you've asked some really good questions, and I'm really glad that we can get back to this because, you know, when you ask questions, it helps us think through and remember and those kinds of things. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that, particularly for the map and the handrail. And we'll have to check on the points on the patio homes and some of those other things. I don't know what. There have been so many changes. You know, somebody mentioned to me the other day, you know, this really isn't the same place it was 3 years ago. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, obviously COVID, you know, and now COVID is never going to be behind us, I don't think. We're just going to we're going to be living with it, and so we'll take precautions as we need to. But somewhere between 30 and 40% of the people who are here today were not here before the pandemic. Yeah, that's really, yeah, we have 750 people living here now. Yeah, please.
If the environment stays roughly the same as this, do you have any idea if we'll be able to vote here in a few months?
If the environment stays roughly the same as it is today, will we be able to vote here? Another really good question. Let me put it this way, I would hope so. I would hope so. And, you know, again, it's, you know, the World Health Organization is saying there's, you know, variant 2, 3, you know, all these different things. The other facet is do the polling people want to make this a polling place again? And that's another question. I would think that they would, but we've not spoken with them yet. So that's really another really good question.
Bob, I was going to check with them.
Oh.
Because I had the question earlier today, and I was going to check with them and then put it in the highlights when I get the answer. But I feel like they are.
Yeah. So Amy mentioned, for those who couldn't hear, Amy mentioned that she's checking with them, and she's pretty confident they will be coming back. Amy Abercrombie. And so as soon as we know, it'll be in the highlights. So read your highlights. Subtle message there. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? I did purposely want to keep this a little bit shorter, just because we have the Monday service event, and Al Krieger said he was really hungry and he wanted to get to supper on time. But I do have a couple things to end with. 2 eggs, a bagel, and a sausage walked into a bar. Bartender, my friends and I would like to have a cold one, said one of the eggs. Sorry, the barman replied. We don't serve breakfast. If it's any encouragement, I have 5 pages of jokes here. So I don't know how long you want to stay, but I think I would overstay my welcome.
Save them for next time.
Save them for next time. All right.
In regards to the parking,
Yes. Comment about parking.
we've got this huge parking space back there behind Building B. Maybe all of our employees and staff could park back there.
Yes, suggest.
People that need to be closer to their apartment have it closer.
So the suggestion is that we have a lot of parking back here that staff park there.
And it's all open.
You've actually anticipated exactly pretty much what we said.
Yeah.
We have staff parking. I don't have the map with me. You can see it at the reception desks. Parking back in here away from the building, so residents can park there. No parking of staff in front of the building center here. You know, here I go. Wow. The exception is we do have a spot for staff member of the year or the month, you know, and that's just because it's special. And then further away from the commons, we also have parking. But yes, these spaces, and we actually have a number a much larger number of handicap spaces than is required by code. And even though we're on a private, this is a private site, the codes are kind of odd that way, but we have a lot of handicap spots in back in particular, and that's for your benefit. That's for your benefit. One last question. How do you measure a snake? You measure it in inches, they don't have feet. I will close with a prayer, and I think we need one. Father, again, it is good that we can come and talk together and look for answers and have comments and think about things together as community. We are grateful for this community of people. We're grateful for how you've carried us through COVID. We're grateful for the day. We are grateful for this particular holiday season, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter and Passover at the same time. Lord, those are important to many of our people. We are grateful for all those things, what they mean to us. Lord, for this time, we are grateful. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all. Thank you.